Hello, and welcome to today's segment of History Chats. I'm your host, Kate Morse, and today we're going to focus on influential American inventors. Our first guest is Ashley, Stephen Chen's secretary. Ashley, come on out.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you. Ashley, what can you tell me about the young Stephen Chen?
Well, Stephen Chen was born in August 1978 in Taiwan, and he immigrated to the United States with his family when he was 15. He went to the University of Illinois, where he got his degree in computer science, and right out of college he actually got a job with PayPal, where he met his friend Chad Hurley.
Very interesting. And what did he do after working at PayPal?
Well, while they're at PayPal, they kind of got the idea for a social media site, and once they were done with PayPal, they actually created YouTube.
And what did he do at YouTube?
Well, he was the chief executive, and he also oversaw the engineering and product department.
What are some of Chen's biggest accomplishments with YouTube?
Well, in 2006, Business 2.0 magazine actually named him to the top 50 people who matter, which was a pretty big deal for him.
That's impressive.
I know. Also in October 2006, Chen and Hurley actually sold YouTube for $1.6 billion.
Billion?
Wow. He also received over 625,000 shares worth $350 million, which was pretty impressive.
I would say so. So what is Chen doing now?
He's actually recently co-founded AVOS Systems with Hurley, which is a company that creates apps for electronic devices.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing Stephen Chen's work with us. It was a pleasure.
Well, thank you.
Sit tight, folks, because next we have Kate, who's Lonnie Johnson's granddaughter, here to share some of his work with us.
Welcome back to History Chats. I'm Emily Schultz, your host, and I'm here with Kate, the granddaughter of Lonnie Johnson. Kate, come on out.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you. So good to see you.
You too. Thanks for coming. All right, Kate, just give us a little background on your grandfather to start off.
Well, my grandfather went to Tuskegee Institute, and he graduated in 1973, which is with his bachelor's in mechanical engineering. And 2 years later, in 1975, he graduated with his master's in nuclear engineering.
Oh, that must have been a lot of studying.
I wish I would have gotten those genes.
So what did he do after graduating from Tuskegee?
My grandfather joined the U.S. Air Force, and there he was part of the Strategic Air Command, where he helped develop the stealth bomber program. And with that, he was a systems engineer for the Galileo mission trip to Jupiter and also for the Cassini mission to Saturn.
Wow, impressive. So what did your grandfather do after the Air Force?
Well, even while he was in the Air Force, he was busy always inventing things. And in 1989, after he left the Air Force, he invented the Super Soaker water gun.
Wow, all the kids in my neighborhood have those. That's so funny.
The interesting thing is that toy's actually been in the top 20 best-selling toys since its creation.
Wow, that's quite a feat with the rise in technology and everything today. That's pretty impressive. So your grandfather has his own company. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, he does. He developed the Johnson Research and Development Company, which actually has over 100 patents. He has some successful and some not-so-successful inventions. One of his successful inventions was a battery-operated hair roller. The ladies love that. One of the not-so-successful inventions was he created a diaper that played a song when it soiled.
Ooh, I feel like that could get a little messy.
Oh, yeah.
So what's your grandfather up to now?
He's currently working on the Johnson Thermoelectric Energy Converter, which is an advanced heat engine that converts solar energy into electricity. He's hoping it'll be operable in a few years, but we're still going to give it some time before that hits the market.
Oh, cool. It sounds like something to go green.
It is, and in a more relaxed setting, he's enjoying spending time with my grandma in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, that's great. At least he gets some family time in there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kate, thanks so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us on the show. It was great having you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, coming up next, folks, is our special guest for the show.
Welcome back to History Chats. This next inventor, our special guest, actually died in 1904, and she came back just for our show. Please help me welcome Martha Costin. Hi, how are you?
Hi, great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Please have a seat. Welcome, Martha. How are you?
I'm great, how are you?
Good. So can you give me a little background on yourself?
Yeah, well, I was born in 1826 in Baltimore, Maryland.
Wow.
With my family, but I later moved to Philadelphia, where I met my loving husband, Benjamin.
Oh.
And we married when I was only 16. We had 4 lovely children. 2 of them tragically died. And actually, my husband died when I turned 21, so I was left with my kids. And he worked in the Navy and was an inventor, so he sort of helped spur some of my later work.
Well, that's good. So what would you say is your claim to fame?
Well, the thing that most people know me for, I invented the signal flare that's used today by most navies and the Air Force and other Navy institutions, and I also established the cost and supply company to manufacture and distribute.
So who actually used these flares?
Well, they were used by the Navy, the U.S. Weather Services, Coast Guard, the U.S. military, and also militaries in other countries such as Denmark, France, Italy, and Haiti.
Oh,
and
wow.
it was used during Civil War, and some say it actually helped contribute to the North's victory.
Well, I just learned something new. So your intentions with your flare were considered patriotic. What can you tell me about this?
Yeah, I just knew I wanted to invent something that would benefit both the people and America in general, and after all of the flares being used in the Civil War and other purposes for military, I really feel like I got to fulfill my goal.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for traveling back in time and being with us. So
Thanks so much for having me.
you. Well, that wraps up our segment of History Chats. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to tune in next week.